I've been doing, and to show you how it's related to fascism, how we've come to this point, from the view of the coalitions that I belong to. One of the groups I work with all the time, because I'm now so much into the national level, is Public Citizen, People for the American Way, and they give me a shout out and a call, and this is, in terms of solutions, I'm saying this for a reason. They have a coalition now called American Democracy Declaration for American Democracy.org. I encourage you all to look at it. And they put together 130 organizations and more, so that if they have an issue like we did HR 1 last month, they'll call me or somebody else at the local level and they'll say, we have an important issue, can you put something together quickly? And because of that, I'm able to use my list, and then they use their list, and we were able to bring like 40, 50 people to Jan Schakowsky's office last month. Last summer, they said, can you do a protest against Trump at Trump Tower? And I had 5 days, and not because I'm so great, it's because the huge network that these people have. We got 300 to 400 people there right near the Trump Tower with a lot of enthusiasm, and Lena was there. So the thing is that Lena's group, Refuse Fascism, and mine are not on the same page with how to do things exactly. But I do know that we have to work together. I'm very much, for example, into small business. I helped start the Small Business Advocacy Council with Elliot Richardson, and that's still going, because I think that part of democracy is the ability of people to start their own business, make it succeed, even without the obstacles. So you put together groups, and you do that, and you can't do anything on your own. You have to work in groups, and particularly in coalitions. So my whole thing in terms of answers is coalition building. And that's why United for Democracy is a series of coalitions that I encourage you to, if you have an organization, just go to the site. We have, I think you saw the literature, and just sign up your organization and post your events. I have a database with 500 different organizations in the Chicago and in the Washington area that can be called on at any time to work together. So I know that people from so many different organizations here. I'm going to read for a few minutes, and Lena's going to stop me when I get out of control, because I do. My belief is that we are in the most dangerous times in our lives, and I really do believe that. I don't sleep at all. And Trump acts like he's still on a reality show, and he lies nonstop. But people like Steve Bannon and Sebastian Gorka, former advisors to Trump, are still doing his dirty work and are stirring the pot, working worldwide to set up white nationalist office of hate, and we see this more every day. Jews who thought the days of Nazi Germany were over after World War II are finding that they are being attacked as much as immigrants, gays, and blacks. And the Koch brothers, which is my big thing, having followed them for 50, 60 years, and ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council, are quietly calling the shots at every level of government, the courts, schools, deregulation, privatizing everything, and more. They're literally taking over the country. The question is, what do we do about it, and how do we stop them? Well, to me, the biggest thing is education, and I think you do it. This is part of what your action should be. First of all, you should go and read books like Professor Stanley's books, Democracy in Chains, Dark Money by Jane Meyer. Study those and see what has been happening. The Koch brothers are very clever. They've been doing this for 60 years under the wire, and they have taken over our voting rights, our courts, every part of it. The media doesn't talk about them. For those who watch Nova, you know that the Koch brothers, David Koch is the biggest funder of Nova, which is a total oxymoron since he supposedly hates science because it gets in the way of his profits. So we have to be alert to all those things. I suggest that you go to sites like the Southern Poverty Law Center, read what they're a great organization, and their information comes in monthly. Or People for the American Way, their right-wing watch is excellent. These are good sources. Put things out constantly on the internet. Don't worry about the trolls. Don't be scared by the threats. Ignore them. Don't get it. Either unfriend them or just keep writing. Although enough of us write, you can't go after all of us. So I'm not worried about it. I'm too old to worry about it in the first place. So, I have some suggestions. You sign up for sources like Common Dreams, The Intercept, listen to Tom Hartman, have coffees with friends, relatives, skeptics, to watch documentaries like the Koch brothers. Exposed. That was produced in 2012, and people are talking about it again. It's a great way of learning. You have to know what's happening, and that's a great way to learn. There are so many documentaries. Arlene Alcanet is here, I think. She has a regular monthly event in Evanston where people can come and, I think it's monthly. Arlene, are you here? She might have left, but she has this, oh, hi. Is it monthly?
Yes.
Okay.
Or twice a month. Too many things happening.
Twice a month? That's how many documentaries there are. She has it at the Civic Center in Evanston.
Right.
It's worth going to. These are wonderful documentaries. She's been doing it for years. She and her buddies, right? Little buddies. Well, okay, so I'm saying do stuff like that. Sign up for, have coffees with friends. Work with the mainstream media. Put pressure on the media. Call them. Tell them what truth they're not telling us. Spread the truth on social media, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, and other sources. Letters to the editor. You still have to do it. We cannot stop doing this. Call the mainstream media, object to their slanted broadcasting, tell them that it's wrong to air Trump every other minute with his lies and his dog and pony shows, just for ratings and to appease the corporate sponsors. Tell them to allow opposing views to counter the fake news, like yesterday they had Trump on at his Mar-a-Lago trip that we paid for, and he's, again, nobody was there to counter. They interviewed him, nobody countered.
And the best lies that they've been saying about actor Justice Smollett.
Okay, I know, wait. We need to go after blue dog Democrats who voted against issues like net neutrality because of big donors. Not necessarily to throw them out, but push them to do the right thing for their constituents. We need to put on social media and object to things like the TPP. We have to stand firm about the deals, the mediation clauses. Maybe the TPP isn't all bad, but we have to stand firm against it. We have to keep working against net neutrality. There are so many issues, and it's our job to do it. My whole thing is that we join in large coalitions to work together. And we don't agree, and that's fine, but if we all agree we want to take this country back, then we have to do it. We can't work in little silos. I'm going to say right now, it's not working. I've been in every single silo. Everybody's holding on to their own little piece of power. Can't do it. We have to push the organizing together. So I will stop right now. And just say,